Hey folks, my name is Mo, and today we're going to be installing a liquid-cooled cooler for the central processor for this computer. It's a relatively high-end gaming system. I do want to show you one thing before we get started, in the fact that I had already, as you can see, taken out the old fan that was in here. I've also removed the back fan that was in here, and I have previously installed the back plate for this thing, this right here, and that entailed removing the motherboard because I couldn't quite get to them through this access panel here, which I did not go ahead and document because that was rather time consuming. As you can see, it does clip in back here with these clips, and these clips do not quite clear the corner here, which I could have clipped off with 10 snips, but I truly prefer not to modify cases if I can help it. Now what we're going to be adding into this system is this critter. This critter is a liquid cooling for your central processor. It consists of a radiator, a fan, I believe that's a 120mm fan, and this little unit right here, which is the contact pad, and the cooling pump that is going to be circulating our coolant in here. It works very similarly to the way your radiator in your liquid-cooled car does. There are also a couple wires on here. This one being for the pump motor, which will plug into our fan motor outlet, and this one being to power the fan here. And one of these, I believe it is this one, actually sends us some temperature data that we can measure, which I'll get into later. Now, the first thing we need to do, since everything is off and I've cleaned everything here, is apply some ceramic thermal paste to this, and I've gotten a ceramic because it doesn't break down easily and will last many years. This will probably be the only time I ever have to put this in here. Thermal paste comes in a little tube like this. Actually, the first thing I need to do is finish installing my standoffs. Once you put that back plate on the back of the motherboard, you have to install some little standoffs. And these little standoffs just hold this mounting hardware up and above the CPU and help with spacing issues. This is all these are, is just little steel blank that's threaded on both sides, and basically all we're going to do is screw this down onto these posts that come up through the motherboard. This is what was on that mounting bracket. I'll screw these on here with the washer side down, and you don't have to get them very tight because we're going to be screwing something else into it here in just a minute, which will help tighten this whole thing up. And the next thing we need to do is add our thermal paste. Now, thermal paste assists in conducting heat away from the processor and into our cooling unit here. It comes in this little tube here, and the kind I have here is ceramic thermal paste, and it's very easy to use. You just squeeze it on there, kind of like toothpaste. Be generous, because this is what's going to help pull heat away from your processor and keep things nice and cool. There we are. And now we're going to stick this on our processor. There's really not a whole lot to it. You just line everything up in here. There we are. Grab your screwdriver and screw them down. I like to screw them down kind of like a car tire, not going all the way tight on any particular one until all of them are in there. That just saves stress on the unit itself. And I don't know if you noticed that, but there is some tension in these. In fact, these screws are spring mounted. And what we're doing is just basically screwing this down. And what that's doing is spreading that thermal compound all the way across the face of our unit here, giving it the best surface to conduct the heat away. Alright, those are nice and tight. Now I'm going to go ahead and mount the fan to the case here. It is very easy to do. And just as a hint, I put all the screws that I take out of a machine in one of these little plastic cups. You can use a Dixie cup or something like that. This keeps you from losing screws, and here in my office space is at a premium, and my carpet is dark, so it is very easy to lose a screw in here. So keeping them in a little cup like that Sure does save a lot of effort and time. Alright, I will be mounting the radiator and fan combination here to the back of my case. There we go, the screw didn't want to thread there for a second. And you want to get these tight, but not over tight, because a lot of this stuff is made out of less than quality metal, and thread holes will strip. So you want to tighten it down, but not gorilla grip it. There we go, that is in there. Now the next thing we do is we need to attach our fan leads here. This is the one that goes to the pump, and I believe the header for it, you probably won't be able to see it from where you are. Yep, there it is, CPU fan. That's what I'm going to attach this one to. And again, you can't see it for this heat sink right here, but this connector actually has a channel on it. I don't know if you'll be able to see it there or not. So you have to get it on there correctly and oriented correctly, which I will do. And at this point, I'm crying uncle, looking for a pair of needle nose, just because I can't get my hand in there. Make sure that one on my fan header correctly. And it did. And then the other one, which is labeled chassis fan, which I know you can't see, will go on the chassis fan header, which is over here right behind my video card, right here. Much easier to get to. And there we go. I can see that that's all seated down. Everything is secure. My pipes are intact here. Notice they are flexible, but you can move them wherever you want to. They clear my large fan up here, my exhaust fan. And I think we are good to go to put the case back together.
Now that everything's buttoned back up and obviously working again, I just wanted to show you something really quick. I use a program called Core Temp 1.0 that basically gives me a very granular look at what each core's temperature is. It is not perfect, it's not 100% accurate, but it gives me a pretty good idea of what's going on. As you can see at idle, my temperatures were running anywhere from 31 degrees Celsius to 36 degrees Celsius, which is just below body temperature, up to anywhere from 45 degrees to 52 degrees, and that was while I was running a very resource intensive program. To compare that, that same program, before I put in the liquid cooling, would run this thing all the way up to about 85 degrees, so you can tell this is a very big difference, and what that does is gives you more life out of your CPU. At this point, I do believe this is the end of my project. I do thank you all for taking the time to watch this.